What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at a property located out here in this very quiet neighborhood in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So let's say you're in the market for a particular home. You like the brick, but you don't want to deal with a lot of yard, okay? But you need a sizable home. So we're looking at a 6-bedroom, 5-bath house, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and tour this home today. We're gonna be looking at a little over 5,100 square feet. Now the driveway is kind of steep. It doesn't come across as steep on the video, but it's definitely got a little bit of a climb to it. So as we come up, we take a look at the landscaping here that descends down to the street. So you're looking at a very large planting bed here as opposed to grass. So you don't have to worry about a lot of landscaping work out here, okay? This is the front of the home. So you got brick front as well, okay? As we walk inside, and I wanna know your guys' thoughts. This home was built in 1998, okay? All right, so this is the porch. So you step up on the porch here, small porch, big enough for seating out here. And there's your neighbor next door. As we enter in, all right, so our lot size is gonna be about 0.34 acres. All right, here's our foyer area entering the home. So we do have hardwood floors here. We got a dining room over here to the left, a formal dining room. Straight ahead is the family room. And right here to the right, we have what looks to be maybe like a small library, a study area. We got a piano stage here with a bookshelf and and a couch. So definitely could be a flex room area right here. They have it set up pretty well. I believe some of these things may be from the previous seller as well, of how they may have had it set up or how they have it set up currently. Okay, you do have the stairs that do greet you coming in, but they're to the side, so they're not right as you immediately come in. All right, and like I stated before, this is your formal dining room. Very nice size room here. You can get a 6-chair table here. You can get a little bit of a larger table, but it might be a little tight to the left and right. They do have the very large wooden blinds here. It's always a nice look. I do wish the the light switch was on this side coming into the door as opposed to over near the kitchen, which we'll check out in a minute. Just a little pet peeve of mine, but nonetheless, it's accessible. So we'll go ahead and walk straight in here. So there is a bedroom on the first floor. So this is your first floor bedroom, okay? Carpets are not new in this home, but I do believe they shampooed them. But you can definitely tell they do have some age to them. Not as old as 98, but they do have age to them. You know how the carpet gets that kind of compressed look. And this is a closet here. So maybe like an in-law suite. Let's say you got some in-laws, you guys want to relocate. And this would be a nice room, right? This is a pass-through bathroom as we look at the vanity right here. And this is a full bath. So not a half bath down here for this room, which is nice, okay? And this is, I don't know if we open this door. Yeah, so this is just gonna be like a coat closet. So immediately over to the right, we have what looks to be the family room. So we have it set up with a large sectional sofa here, the fireplace over in the corner. I'm not sure they use it a lot because they do have the sofa right up against it, but of course you can set this up however you would like. You got your TV mount on the wall as well. So very, very good utilization of space. And I do like how they accented this wall. This is actually like a wallpaper, but the way that it looks good. It's hard to see the seam lines, so it almost looks like paint. And it really brought this wall out in this home. To me, it kind of helped modernize it a little bit, okay? And you have that fixture up there as well. All right, so you do have windows to bring in a lot of light. All right, so like I said, this is your family room area. And right behind this wall is the kitchen, which we'll take a look at in just a second. So before we look at the kitchen, here's the breakfast nook area, another smaller dining area. But we're gonna take a look at this outdoor sunroom out here. So I think this is really, really cool. So check this out, guys. So they do have a entertainment area out here with your TV, and it's all screened in. A very sizable area. You can entertain quite a few people out here. Like I said, it's a very quiet neighborhood as well. Okay. Once again, not a lot of grass, not a lot of yard to contend with, which could be very appealing, right? If you don't want to be out in the yard in the heat. I mean, you can get a little small electric mower to take care of the little grass that you have. You do have a high bank there. That's going up to the fence to the back of the property. So, but they did add stairs here if you needed to access that level. So what are your thoughts on that? So just let me know. Okay. So as we move along, but yeah, I do think this is just very nice out here. They do have a ceiling fan out here, and they took most of the area that they did have and just made it a entertainment area, screened in, which is real nice. Keep the bugs out. And then they have all their cooking stuff out here. So you got your grills and smokers or whatnot just out here, giving this brick pathway, which is pretty nice. We can actually take a look at the back of the property as well, so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay. So once again, like I said, this is that bank there, and then this would be the back of the home. Okay. There you go. Now you do have these planters here that they put here. You can use those as planters as well. And then they also have a storage shed back there too. So they definitely utilize this space. They maximize what they had. And of course, this kind of adds on square footage to the house, right? You have a covered space and it's screened in, so you're not irritated by bugs. So I do think that's nice. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and go back in. So let me know what you guys think about that. So as we come back into the home, where it is air conditioned, we're gonna take a look at the kitchen. So the kitchen greets us as we come back in the home. I do love this L-shaped countertop right here. It looks really nice. It helps the layout of this kitchen, to me, exponentially. Just because you do have the counter also serving as a physical barrier to be able to define spaces within this open area. So this is an open kitchen style layout and area. Over to the right, they turned this into like a small, I guess you could say seating area, almost like just a mini entertainment area, because you have another fireplace here and a TV mounted on the wall with your light fixture above. And you have windows on those two walls, so that brings in some light as well. Okay, and then if you turn here, you get a view of the kitchen. Okay, so like just having, you have your seating here, because there is a recess here for this portion of the countertop, not necessarily like an island, because like I said, all that's together. You do have an apron sink here, which is nice, a porcelain apron sink, which are becoming quite popular. You have the white backsplash here, which I'm fine with because there's no cooktops there to contend with. You do have one of the newer microwaves, that is the automatic microwave by KitchenAid. You got your white cabinets here, okay? Soft closed cabinets. Then immediately over in front of us, you have your refrigerator, your KitchenAid refrigerator. So your whole appliance package here is going to be KitchenAid. You got your double stack ovens here as well. Okay. Tons of cabinet space. I'm not sure who's going to be getting to these. I mean, I could reach them, but clearly that's where you keep, like they have it, your cake plates and your cake covers and your glassware that's maybe like just for the holidays. And immediately right in front of us, we have the KitchenAid cooktop here. Okay. So we have this 5-burner setup, looks like. into the kitchen island. I know this is a favorite of quite a few people, and some it's not. But it does lend you that openness to be able to, cook on this in this kitchen and not be kind of just located or in one area. This cooktop centers you within the kitchen, so you can get access to your fridge, your sink, and your oven all within reach. And this is a very sizable island as well, okay? And so you have your drawers here on the island, soft close as well. I mean, it's really, really nice. And you got your dishwasher here as well. I think the kitchen is one of the most appealing parts of this house, for sure. There's your trash. It's very clean and well done for a home built in 1998. I think they did a really good job. Okay, so coming out of the kitchen, here you have your pantry. So they do have the pantry built out here, which is really nice. I would have went with a brighter light in here. I think that would have been nice. Okay, and then here, I think is the garage. Yeah, so this is your garage. Ooh, something's okay. So they do have some storage out here in the garage as well. Things on the wall. 2-car garage, okay. Man, something's going bad in that fridge out there, I'll tell you that, okay. Now, I believe that will conclude our tour of the first floor of this here house. So what do you guys think? Like I said, I think the kitchen is one of the most appealing things down here on the first floor, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the second level. Yes, that is a basement there. We will check that out in a minute, all right? So let's go ahead and take a gander upstairs, okay? All right, so coming upstairs, you're immediately greeted by these 2 double doors right here. And this would be your laundry room, okay? They even they've made a little space here, use that for shelving and storage, which is smart. You could have still put cabinets in here though too, I think, or some type of above shelving. But nonetheless, it's there. Over to the left, you have what looks to be one of your guest bedrooms, okay? And it has this ensuite bathroom. So this is not a pass-through bathroom. This is a full bath for this bedroom, okay? And it has this closet as well. All right. Like I said, I think they were still moving stuff out of here, the previous owner, okay? So that's your first guest bedroom. That straight ahead is the primary. We'll take a look at that in a second. Okay. This is your view downstairs into the main family room area. Like I said, that accent wall really stands out. It looks good. It brings out the other colors in the home. And over to the right here, before we enter the other 2 bedrooms, this is a look down to the foyer, okay? So that's your front entrance, okay? Then over to the right here, we have your second guest bedroom, all right? Okay, and this is the closet right here, okay? Once again, you guys know how I feel about angles, but I mean, they had to do it in this case to get the closet in here. And here is the double vanity pass-through bathroom for these 2 rooms, okay? So there's your lighting there. There's your double vanity. There's your bathtub here. The 98 part of the home, I think, starts to really come out up here. You can really tell things are not as updated in the bathrooms here. And there's your closet, okay? So I think it kind of starts to show up here in the bathrooms. And this is the 3rd guest bedroom here, okay? So you have a view out to your backyard from this room. There's a closet right here. Okay. So yeah, like I said, it looks like they did shampoo the carpets. Okay. And this is the room. Not the largest of bedrooms, but you can get a bed in here. It's about the same size as the other bedroom across the hallway. Okay. So before we go down and take a look at the basement, let's go ahead and take a look at the primary. All right. So what do you guys think so far? What are your opinions here? So this would be the primary bedroom. You come through the double doors here, and you got your tray ceiling up here. Okay. They have the bed going against the wall here in this application, but you got a bay window set up to the backyard. And then you have a kind of like a day area over here in the primary bedroom, which is nice. I find that sometimes some of my clients do ask for this particular feature that I've seen to kind of be brought back in some new construction homes as well. Just an off-sitting area in your primary bedroom, okay? But you do have it with a large TV on the wall, okay? And then you have your primary bathroom. So nice tall ceilings in the bathroom here. You got a split vanity set up. You got your floating tub here, your shower that greets you coming in with the chandelier, your water closet, okay? And this is the setup for the vanity here. And then you got this other larger vanity here as well. So a little bit more up to date in here, a little bit. But like I said, it still kind of shows the dating a little bit. And this is your linen closet. I do like the setup walking into this bathroom just because walking in, once again, you have everything, you can visually see everything that you would want to get to, your tub, shower, and then your sink and your water closet area, which is nice. The window's frosted, you don't have to worry about doing that, okay? And like I said, here's your shower, closer look there. Just a simple wand and waterfall setup there, okay? Or rainfall setup, however you want to put it. Then you have your wood floor coming in here to the primary closet. So this closet is interesting. I do like how it's set up. They have the cubby and the bar set up here for your clothing and your shoes and stuff like that. So they have this side set up to the right, okay? And then you keep walking, and then they have this side set up heavy to the left. So I think that's interesting. It's less shelves in here. It's not as laid out at all. So this will probably be more of just a general storage area. But the reason why I like it being set up that way is because you can walk straight through here, straight back to the bathroom, and you're not zigzagging to get out of here, okay? Although that closet being wood in there makes it a little dark. So, but nonetheless, you do have that, okay? So that concludes our tour of the second floor and the primary bedroom. So let's go ahead and wander downstairs to the basement. I'll see you guys downstairs. All right, guys, so now we will go ahead and descend to the basement, coming through the glass door. I do like the glass door to get to the basement, just because it allows you just to kind of see down into the basement without having to open the door. So as we come down into the basement, we're immediately greeted by the full bath down here, okay? So this is our full bathroom, single vanity setup, all right? Then immediately over to the right, after we come down the stairs, we're greeted with there's a storage area out here, okay? It's finished out enough just to kind of keep maybe like, you know, your Christmas items and stuff like that, your seasonal items. And then over here, they did what is becoming quite common, as I say in these videos, they turned this down here to a home gym. So they have their walking equipment, cardio equipment here, more cardio equipment, your weightlifting, and then you have an area cushioned on the floor for your gym with your mirror. So basically, long story short, they have how they want their fitness set up here. And this is a really good thing to do with these basement rooms where you kind of don't know what to do with it if you're into fitness itself, even a countertop over here in the corner. So this is just a good example of that. And even the flooring is not a permanent flooring. So in the case that the new owner doesn't want to have any of this here, it will not damage the floor beneath, okay? So something to keep in mind here. Nice and simple setup there. So coming into what I call the chocolate pool room here, we've got this setup here where they got the billiard table here with the nice blue cloth on the table. All right, and then they have an office over here. So they took this area right here and they turned it into an office. Okay. All right. So we turned this area into an office down here. And I'll get the square footage. We'll talk numbers in a second of what this basement area is. Okay. So clearly this larger area was used for the pool, and then they took this area here and they turned this into a home theater room. So down here you have a home theater system here. In that glass cabinet, you have like your gaming systems, I believe it was. You got your tiered seating here because you got this set on a platform. And over to the right, you got your kitchenette, which is really nice over here as well. So a very nice setup if you're looking to do a setup in your own basement or common space for such. This is a really good way to do it. Granite countertop would have been nice. I think are more appealing for this home, but nonetheless, it is there to be used. You got your popcorn machine, coffee, and your sink. And then like your smaller cooking appliances like a microwave and an air fryer. So, and a large fridge. So really nice setup here. It all fits over in the corner and you do have that to use, okay? So what do you guys think thus far? Okay, with your large screen here, okay? And then I think they have I think this is storage here. Yeah, so this will just be a storage room as well. All right, so that will conclude the tour of this here property located out here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So let's go ahead and close this out and get ready to talk numbers. All right, I'll see you guys in a second. All right, guys. So that concludes our tour of this here property located out here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. What did you guys think? Yes, I am not in the kitchen. I decided to switch it up on you guys a little bit here and come down to the basement, which I thought was another very unique feature of this here particular resale home. So let's go ahead and give you guys some numbers before we dive into some opinions that I have of this here house. So we're looking at a 6-bedroom, 5-bath, okay? And downstairs we have 1,721 square feet. Upstairs on the second and third floor, we have 3,409 square feet, okay? Totaling 5,130 square feet as it is said here on the listing ad. All right, so I said the home's built in 98. It's actually built in 1999. I shorted it a year, okay? The lot size is 0.34 acres, all right? So before we jump into the price, obviously, right? A few things that I think is off the top that I think is appealing about this property. Let's say you guys are thinking about relocating. You know, it's you, your spouse, maybe you have 2 to 3 kids, or maybe you have in-laws, okay? Could you see this being a pretty decent fit for you, okay? Is this enough space for everyone to kind of be in their own existence? It's kind of becoming common for kids to kind of have to really just be doing their own thing in the house, the parents doing their own thing, less of a intermingling total of families and more of just kind of like micro, I guess you could say micro ecosystems within a home. Could this home offer such a privacy? The reason why I make that statement, right? You come upstairs, you got your primary bedroom all set to itself, okay? And then you have the other bedrooms towards the other side. Well, you have one other guest bedroom by the primary, but it's to the other side of the hallway. On the second floor, you have those entertainment areas. You got like a mini seating area or or entertainment area right next to the kitchen, and then you have a larger family room in there as well when you first walk in. And of course, downstairs here in the basement, you have this room that I'm sitting in right now, which is the theater room. Right behind me, you have the pool room. And then further back, you even have another room that was turned into an office. Obviously, you don't have to use the spaces as they have them laid out here, outside of the bedrooms, of course. And you can really have a decent amount of utilization out of this home that you don't really see too much in a lot of new construction. Not saying that you don't, but being on resale, the uniqueness of this home lends itself to be appealing. Now, with that being said, you do have a 2-car garage, but you do have a very steep entrance into the property, okay? So it's a little steep coming up in here. It does level out towards the front of the garages, as to be expected, but it's a little steep. Now, I will also say that these homeowners did an excellent job on the kitchen. The kitchen looks great. I think they did a really good job of laying it out in a way that lends itself to be quite useful. The very large L-shaped countertop provides a physical barrier upstairs. You have your cooktop on the large center island, so it is nice to have a cooktop in the center of the kitchen because you have access to your sink, your oven, and your fridge all within a general area. You're not doing a lot of pacing back and forth. You're halving your travel time if you're a big cook or you really like to be in the kitchen. I do think that can be very appealing to a lot of buyers, especially those that like to spend time in the kitchen. And you also have that other area right off to the side, as I stated earlier in the video, that's like a smaller seating area where you got this big TV on the wall that you, if you wanted to, you could watch TV while you're cooking, okay? So that in itself is very nice. Although, there are also some drawbacks here, right? So you're looking at a kitchen that doesn't have an exhaust hood. So I didn't see one, but I don't think the kitchen has an exhaust hood. So foods that will fumigate a lot or things that may have a lingering odor, you have to keep that in mind, that you will need to turn on some type of fan and extra ventilation to kind of keep that from going throughout the home and kind of sitting. The rest of the home, as far as like some of the bathrooms, are a bit dated, okay? So it's things that I think that could easily be rectified if you really want this home and its layout, but it's something to think about. Another thing to think about if you're a buyer of a prospective home that has a setup similar to this, what goes with the property? Do these chairs I'm sitting in go with this house, the sale of this home? Does this screen I'm looking at, the theater screen, go with the sale of this home? Heck, does the pool table go with the sale of this home? If you don't know, ask your agent. That's what we're here for, guys. We're here to give you this information. Do not guess or do not be surprised if a no is given or if a yes is given. You want to know these things going into a transaction because they depend heavily on what you end up getting for your money. Speaking of for your money, how much do you think they're asking for this particular home? They're asking $742,000 for this here particular property, okay? The original list price was $795,000. Now, it's been on the market for a little over 2 months, 65 days as of the day of this video, so the price could go down as well. I have videos on homes that you guys could check out after this one that are still up on the market and that has even went lower, okay? So just definitely ask, comment on those videos. Hey, is the house still available? And I'll get you that information with an updated list price as well. I do not mind. So, and also with that being said, any other questions about this here property or the others, check the description box below of this video and get my contact information, and I'll be able to get that over to you guys. All right. So I kept you guys long enough on this beautiful Georgia Sunday, and without further ado, it's been Jarvis, your favorite bearded agent. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, giving your comment and your input. I value it greatly. But do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.